Welcome to Sparked, a journey of soul and spirit. I'm Niccy, medium, soul guider, and your spiritual cheerleader. This podcast is your space to reconnect with the spark within, explore the unseen world, and deepen your trust in your own soul's wisdom. Each episode, I'll walk beside you through stories of spirit, lessons from lived experience, and heart-to-heart guidance to support your path of awakening. Whether you're navigating your gifts, healing your heart, or just curious about the magic of it all, you are so welcome here. Because your soul's journey is a spark that matters, and you don't have to walk it alone. Let's get sparked. Hello. We are back together again, and it feels so good. As I record this episode, it is the 1st of September, and so I am in Australia, and it is now springtime. So I can feel in the air this real rebirth, this blossom, this excitement. And I'm here for it. I really am here for it. And I really hope that you are all here for it as well. So I do know, of course, that it won't apply for all that are listening because you aren't all from Australia. But I can only speak on where I live. And I can feel the pressure has been lifted. And so if you are anything like me, I've had an incredibly crazy shitstorm of an August, and even probably the end of July too. So just with personal things, with inner work, and it's kind of really I've had to dig deep with a lot of inner work, a lot of crap, a lot of reflecting and all of the things that really entitle us to grow. But when you're in it, when you're in the thick of it, it feels crazy deep and dark at times. But I am happy to report that it does feel like that it's now feeling a lot more contentment. I'm feeling a lot more content. I'm feeling a lot more aligned. Will I have hiccups between now and after Christmas? Absolutely, because I am human. But I do feel as if that July and August really were those times, those crunch times within our journey this year, that we had to ride the waves, we've had to surrender, we've had to give up, we've had to forget, we've had to forgive, we've had to do all of the things that usually we've had to avoid. So I love that I've actually started this off with a bit of a spirit message or a bit of a reflection in myself to really think about this year in whole, collectively. And this may just resonate with you too, hence why I really felt that pull to have to speak about it before we get right into this episode. It was funny because I was bopping around the house this morning, getting everything organized, and I was just thinking about this episode, and I couldn't help but laugh because I chatted with Spirit and I said, what is it like? Yes, I know what we're speaking of, but it does feel like September is already feeling a lot more lighter than August, definitely my August. And would you agree with that? And Spirit said, the shadow work before contentment. And then I had a giggle and I'm like, yes, there's been a lot of inner reflections, absolutely, that have taken place. And then I heard the quote was, the storm before the calm. So instead of the calm before the storm, it really has felt like it was the storm, it was the chaos, it was the darkness, it was like a big black fluffy cloud that we've had to really get rid of and really work on to be able for it to move out the way in order to step into a lot more lightness, a lot more brightness, a lot more growing. And that's a really cool analogy. I just had a real giggle, especially with the storm before the calm. And it really did, of course, resonate. So I just had to share that with you as well. So a lot of inner work has been happening. Please take this time to reflect. I may have already said that in the September spirit messages, which was the last episode, or the Virgo spirit messages, I should say. But yeah, just kind of keep that in mind and please be kind. But let's now talk about this episode. So, as you may know by now, I am a workhorse Capricorn, and I find it really hard to just chill and take up a new hobby that is not my work. And so in the past, especially when I first started this spiritual development endeavor, all I kept drawing to was like spiritual books and podcasts and all of the beautiful things. And I've always been a fan of books, and I've loved going to the library. I am a millennial. Like, it was just books when we'd go to the library at school and in town. And so it's just, I've always cherished books, and I've always been a little bit of a book reader. But then, growing up, it was just like, meh, whatever. Like, it was like, I'm too busy to read a book. And then recently, so many people around me, so many of my friends are talking about books and this series and that series. And I'm like, hey, I'm missing out on something here. It just seemed like as if it was just the talk, the topic of each discussion when a group would get together. And yes, you don't have to be like the group. That's completely fine. But it did spark my interest in thinking, well, I'm going to get back into reading. I don't know where to start. I don't know what book I should be reading, but I actually want to start reading non-fiction books. So I've always read fiction books as well. Like, in my adulthood, I have especially like medium biographies and all of the weird and the wonderful, but I kind of did steer away from non-fiction books. And then it got me thinking, I'm like, well, look, I think I'm missing out on something here. I kept getting signs and symbols to be like, you should be reading some books. You should be getting some downtime. And I'm like, but if I get some downtime, then I'm not spending my time on work. But guess what? I have incorporated it where I can still spend that time guilt-free, where I still am flexing my psychic senses, and it's been really fun and really something in which I didn't think the two would be together, but here we are now talking about it in today's episode. So this episode is for the book readers, and it doesn't have to be fiction. It can be non-fiction. It could be anything that you read, but this is kind of going to be like a really fun exercise in incorporating book reading with our psychic senses. So let's talk about our psychic senses. What are they? Where do they come from? What is it? So it's our feelings. It's our senses within our body and all around us. So our psychic senses are often called the clairs. So you may have, I think the most popular that you may have heard would be clairvoyance. So these are the way that spirit communicate beyond our everyday five senses. So the thing is that there is more clairs, there is more of them on the list now. They kind of keep growing, but I'm just going to speak about the ones that I'm going to speak about today and how they're incorporated into book reading as well. So what we're going to speak about first is clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. So they are the images, they're the colours, they're the vision appears in your mind's eye. So they're all the visions, they're the symbols and things that you would see within your mind's eye. What is a mind's eye? It's what you can visualize. So the thing is that when you're reading a book, I know I'm jumping ahead of myself because I'm going to also be speaking about how to use them whilst reading. But when you have your own vision, so then you read the book and then you watch the movie and then you're like, no, I didn't picture that character looking like that. So that is our mind's eyes. So then there is Clairaudience, which is clear hearing. So these are, you could hear the words, tones, music, or just subtle sounds that come from spirit and through from spirit, I should say. So they're just little, and you know what is tricky about clairaudience is that it actually could be our own voices that we do hear, but it's again like the mind's eye. It's that our mind's hearing, where it does sound like our voice, but it actually is not. It is spirit. Then there is Clairsentience, which is clear feeling. So this is the one that you just know something and instantly without any proof whatsoever. And it is a tricky one because the thing is that, growing up, they're the ones where it's just like, well, didn't you tell me that? And it's like, well, no. And it's like, oh, but I just knew. I just knew. And so I didn't even realize, but this has been my strongest one within growing up now that I look back. And, with the clear knowing, especially when you don't even know what it is, it can kind of come across a bit pig-headed, I must admit, because it's like, oh, I already knew that. And it's like, well, how? So it is a tricky one because it is kind of just that trust. So clear knowing comes with a lot of inner trust that we really need to anchor down. Then there is Clairalience. God, you can really tell that I don't actually like saying Claircognizance and Clairalience because I just can't get the words out of my mouth correctly. Oh God, I can't even say that. But that is clear smelling. So this one is really fascinating because it's when you smell a scent from spirit that has no physical source whatsoever. So you might be able to smell, pick up on a flower scent, perfume, cigar smokes, even a familiar meal, curries and all of that kind of stuff as well. And clear smelling, I just can never forget. There was this time, and I know I'm getting a bit off track, but I will never forget one time when the opening of a session of a client that came to me was her grandmother, but it was in the smell of burnt toast, and I do not like burnt toast smell whatsoever. So I was like, oh my God, can you smell that? Because it was really up my nose, and the client laughed, and I'm like, it's burnt smoke. And I honestly thought that it was in the kitchen, it was in my kitchen, and I'm like, I don't think I put toast on today. My client just lost it because she's like, my grandmother loved a good burnt toast. And I just could not get over that. I thought that was really, really funny. So yeah, there you go. There's a little backstory of me. I just can't get over it. I feel like as if that was kind of the breakthrough for me, opening up more of my clear smelling as well. So just to recap, because we don't have to use the word of the clairvoyance and the clairaudience, and hello, I can't even speak correctly. So I always call them with clear, because Clair is actually meaning clear. So let's recap. We've got clear seeing that we're speaking about today. We're speaking about clear hearing, clear feeling, clear knowing, and clear smelling. So just like any work, there comes training. Because if we're really passionate about that work and what we do, we need to stay sharp. We need to continue to grow and expand and to sharpen our abilities. So these senses are all abilities. They are all that we can do them all, but it's about strengthening them that really unlocks that key to be able to then conduct sessions and to read for people. So the thing is that I allow spirit. I speak to spirit and say, you are able to come through and communicate with me however you find easiest. But the thing is, I still want to keep all of my clairs strengthened so that it's easier for me to communicate with the loved ones that come through, and it's not a guessing game and trying to work out what clair I'm using and so on and so forth. So there's super important in the work that I do, but super important in every day-to-day life as well, to really be present and in the moment. So I'm going to go through just some little steps that can help you with each clair that we have been speaking about today. And what is really beautiful about this is that there is so many ways and so many techniques to be able to strengthen and to be able to help each clair out. So the things that I recommend, if they do not resonate with you whatsoever, go have a look online, have some researching, go have a look at some clips. This is the excitement. This is the study portion of being able to open up and really look at how you can improve each Clair. So it's very, very exciting, very, very fun. And just let's try it out. Let's see what kind of resonates for you. So with clairvoyance, close your eyes and picture a rose. Change its color. See it open, petal by petal. This builds the mind's eye Spirit uses to show images. So that could be just a little practice that you can do. So in your own time, have some nice music playing in the background if you wish. Not music, probably like an instrumental track or a meditation track. And just close your eyes and picture a single rose. And change its color. See it open petal by petal. It's quite fun, isn't it? Then we go on to Clairaudience. So this is to just sit in silence for 2 minutes. So perhaps maybe even like pause this episode and kind of just write down each tip, and then when you're free, absolutely take that time to do each little tip, because it's really fun and it's really fascinating. So with the Clairaudience one, I definitely recommend to sit in silence for about a good 2 minutes. So this one, actually all of them probably should be, of course, practiced without distraction. So this isn't something in which you have the kids running around in the background for. So with that sitting in silence, just notice external sounds first. So there could be birds, there could be the wind blowing, then the distant hums. Then listen inward. Do you hear a word, a tone, or a phrase come up? So that's really fascinating. So really just take notice. This is where we have to be present. We have to be within that moment, and we have to really feel anchored in. So having that time just to sit in silence, and boy, oh boy, you kind of really realize how much you don't sit in silence. So when I first started, I was like, what is this silence thing we speak of? With Clairsentience, place a hand on your heart and ask, what am I feeling? And really sit there and think, what am I feeling? Then ask, is this mine, or could it be spirit? It helps you discern between your energy and spirit. So this is a big one. So with Clairsentience, it does come with those feelings, and it's hard because if you keep going and going, you can mix and merge those feelings together. And then it's hard because at times, I remember when I was a newbie, I would be like, oh my God, I've never felt these feelings before. And then I'd be like, well, wait a minute. These are not my feelings. So with clear feeling really does come with having to really be present again, as I said, and think, okay, wait a minute. Is this mine or spirit's? With Claircognizance, try automatic writing. Yeah, that's right. My fave, my friend, automatic writing, and ask spirit questions. This is the exciting thing. So let words flow without overthinking. Again, I love a good sound frequency or a meditation music in the background, and I just go with the flow. It makes me kind of stay centered as well. It makes my ADHD-ness kind of fade away for that time, and for me to stay focused. And often you will write something wiser than you expected. So you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Did that come me? So really try that automatic writing. That is the exercise, and that is fun. Put pen to paper. Now with Clairalience, sit with a memory of a scent or your favorite scent. So it could be like fresh baked bread. Oh my God. My favorite was always that the smell of a hot waffle cone. Oh, when waffle cones feel like that with ice cream. Oh my God. Imagine smelling it until you almost can. So really flexing your nose, flexing the smell ability. And then spirit often uses memory to trigger this sense. So it's again, really a beautiful one. And it can be so much. And as I said, I couldn't help but laugh at the burnt toast thing. And again, I've had more smells since then, but it just will always probably stay within my, within my development stories, I should say. Okay. So part 2 of this is practicing with books. So what we're going to do first is with clairvoyance is choose a book. So this would probably really work within, I'm probably going to say a non-fiction book, because that's what I've been doing recently, and that is how I've been really strengthening these clairs that way. So choose a descriptive book and picture each scene like a movie. So this is what I do, and you honestly feel as if this should be made into a movie from my mind's eye. So see the colors, the lighting, and textures as if you are there. So everything feels real. Everything, should look real. Clairvoyance, that's what we're speaking of. So again, with clairvoyance, you're going to choose a descriptive book and picture each scene like a movie playing out. See the colors, lighting, and textures as if you are there. With Clairaudience, we're going to hear how characters speak in your mind, their tones, the pace, even accent. So let inner dialogue become vivid. Spirit uses the same channel. So hear how characters would speak. So this is for your movie. How would they speak? Now, with Clairsentience, you're going to notice where emotions in the story land in your body. So it could be a tight chest, goosebumps, warmth. It could have and it has all those feelings, all those descriptions within those words. They bring up something. So notice the emotions in the story, and where are they in your body? These feelings mirror how spirit communicates energy. With Claircognizance, sometimes you just know what's going to actually happen in the story, or at least like within the end or that conclusion. You can really feel it. You're really in on it. Or a line jumps off the page as deep truth. So you pause, ask spirit, is this a download for me? Something really just sparks. Oh, there we go. Popped it into the episode this time around. It sparked. And then with Clairalience, some stories are so vivid that you can almost smell it. So you can smell that rain that they speak of that is really gushing down onto the rooftop. You can smell the smoke that they have just lit. Or you can smell the flowers that have just been placed on the dining room table. Notice when this happens. Pause and let spirit build on that sensory spark. Oh, I got to say spark twice. Okay, my loves, I'm actually going to get you into a little bit of a mini reading meditation. So again, you can pause, you can skip this part until you are ready and until you are in time with wanting to pick up your book. Because what I want you to do now is grab a book or imagine one you love and open just to a random page. Read a line slowly. Close your eyes. What do you see? Do you hear anything? Feel anything? Smell or taste anything? Sometimes it's subtle like a memory, or simply know something new about the story or yourself. This is spirit speaking through imagination, and books are a beautiful bridge. They merge together with creativity and imagination and spirit working together, and it's all the magic. How awesome is that, right? Oh, I just find it so fascinating. And now that I'm in my book reading era again, I just thought that this episode would just really speak to those that are in their book reading era as well. And you don't have to be in your book reading era, especially with just the non-book little tasks that I've set out for you. They all still apply, but I just thought it would be kind of a fun bonus to speak about books as well within this episode. So, your psychic senses are like muscles, as I said. They do continue to need that training and that strengthening. So the more you play and explore and practice, the stronger that they do become. So you don't even need to do this within, you don't have to become a medium or a reader. This is something in which, if you just feel intrigued by, you're more than welcome to give it a go. And what I've learned is development doesn't have to feel like hard work. So for me, again, yes, I'm a workforce, but it should feel fun. It should feel light-hearted. It can feel like curling up with the story and just taking a quiet moment, or simply just letting yourself imagine. So whether it's through books or just simply everyday practices, give your Clairs some love. They're ready to awaken. Let me know how you go. Tell me if anything really resonates with you within books versus your Clairs as well. And thank you so much for joining me for this full episode. I'm just so excited to bring you another one. And until next time, keep trusting your soul, your senses, and your spark. Thank you for being here with me on Sparked, a journey of soul and spirit. Before we close, I want to acknowledge the Willakali peoples, the traditional custodians of the land in which I live and work. I pay my deepest respects to their elders past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people listening today. If this episode sparks something within you, I'd love for you to follow along. Share it with someone who needs it, and stay connected as we journey deeper into soul. You can hop over to my website, nickysoulguidance.com, for more details, offerings, and a space to connect with me directly if you have any inquiries or want to explore this path further. Until next time, trust your soul, follow the spark, and honour your heart.